All sectors green. Energy's leading, but banks aren't far behind. VIX up a little bit here, back above 21, but record highs across the board. Let's get to Bob Pisani. Hey, Bob.
And the bank index has been doing terrific recently. Of course, the yield curve has been steepening, and that's got the banks moving. It's also got a little concern about inflation, but David Wright, banks, one of the big movers this morning. S&P new high, NASDAQ new high, Russell 2000 new high. We're just hitting it right across the board here. Dow new high. In fact, a global rally, really. But you see energy stocks leading today. We've got oil over 57, the highest levels in a year. There's David referencing the banks. There's the bank index. The BKX had a great run in the last couple of weeks. Materials, industrials. So what is this? This is the reflation trade. That's what you're looking at right there. You see consumer staples consistently lagging day in and day out the last couple of weeks. That's because investors have bought into the reopening story. So look what the market narratives are. The traders are enamored with Janet Yellen. I mean, she was on the Sunday talk shows. Go back to full employment if we go big. They believe the go big narrative. They believe it's going to pass. Virus infections are slowing. The rollout is continuing. I mentioned last week, Q1 and Q2 earnings estimates are rising. That's the most important thing for the markets because they're buying in to the narrative that the analysts have been underestimating the strength of the recovery and the strength of the rollout. There are inflation worries that are out there. Oil at a one-year high. People have been talking about the commodity inflation that we've been seeing. The 30-year bond went over 2% briefly. The 10-year note, we're at the highest level since about March of last year, 1.8% or so. So the inflation worries are there, but that narrative is not dominating the market right now. It's the rollout. It's the reopening narrative that really is important. This is a global rally. I keep emphasizing we hit a 30-year high on the Nikkei today, going back to 1990, folks. We have a historic high in India and the Bombay. We have an historic high in Germany as well. So it's not just the United States, and emerging markets have had a very good move up as well. If you can see, when I say it's the reflation, the stay-at-home stocks just aren't as popular anymore. And you can see this again today. The Amazons, Electronic Arts, Activisions, Zooms, they're not having the energy that they had 6 or 7 months ago. And that's evident again today in the trading situation. Finally, just want to note, we had briefly, Carl mentioned, happy birthday, NASDAQ. It was February 8th, 1971. It was 50 years ago. NASDAQ began operations. That's quite a feat here. You know, it was originally a quotation system. You couldn't trade on NASDAQ. It was just a quote system. And their main thing, they really helped lower the bid-ask spreads because remember, all this stuff was over the counter and it was people on telephones and the bid-ask was a mile wide. Once you start being able to see it on a computer screen, which is what NASDAQ did, you couldn't trade, but you saw it on a computer screen, the bid-ask started to narrow. And that was a big contribution that NASDAQ made. In 1998, they were trading online. They were really the first one to trade online, but it's a big thing. And remember, you can buy the NASDAQ, you can buy the ETFs around them. There's several of them, and there they are, including the QQQ Trust.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.